guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a worth the buy or not review on a very requested foundation here on my channel. This is pretty new in the USA. I think this has been around in Europe. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I've heard. This is the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Fresh Foundation, up to 24-hour fresh wear, and this does have sunscreen of 25. So we're going to be testing this baby out today. I'm really curious about it. It's supposed to be a fresh wear foundation. It says breathable texture, and these never give me a lot of info. So let's go ahead and hop onto Ulta's website and see. So we already know that they have the matte one and they also have the glowy one. So it's supposed to be a lightweight, breathable, long wear foundation. It provides medium to full buildable coverage that lasts all day long that allows the skin to breathe. It does say that it has 3 oil absorbers which resist sweat, water, and transfer. The ultra thin liquid goes on smoothly to give a fresh, healthy looking complexion that lasts all day long. Color stays true and blends in evenly so your makeup looks fresh all day. There are 30 shades of this foundation, which is fantastic. I did pick this up in the shade, what does it say? I think 500. I have all the info on the shade exactly down below. So let's go ahead and get started. So it comes with a pump, which I appreciate. I like the fact that this comes like this as opposed to, do I have any of the Infallibles in here? No, they're in my bin. But it comes in this instead of like that squeeze tube. I just prefer this situation. I mean, I guess for traveling, squeeze tubes are great, but I just like this. So let's go ahead and, this is a little bit runny, as you can see. So we're gonna be having to do some work. And I'm gonna start off with my makeup sponge. This is the Morphe makeup sponge, the highlight and contour one. It is absolutely phenomenal. So let's go ahead and bring you guys closer so we can go ahead and dissect. Oh, wait. Wow, I'm like really off today because I completely forgot that I first need to prime my skin. Oh my goodness. Look at me. We're gonna go ahead and use the Milani Prime Shield. This is the matte one for my ladies who have oily skin. This is one of my favorites. We're gonna go ahead and just prime this side because I do have the foundation on right here and I don't want it to like slip and slide as I'm trying to get this product on. So we're just gonna prime one side and then we're gonna leave the other side unprimed for now. Whew. Now we're in close. We are in close. Okay, so you can see what my skin looks like on this side. We do have some texture, but it's actually pretty good today. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dot it. 2, 3. And I did purchase this on the Ulta website because they don't have it at my local Ulta. I know some of you guys did say that they had it at your local Ulta. You guys are lucky. My Ulta is like the last Ulta to get anything, so I had to order it on Ulta's website. I do have to say Ulta's shipping has been pretty good. I always love Sephora shipping because Sephora always does such a good job of shipping ASAP, especially if you're a Rouge member or you pay that extra money to get it delivered fast. It's always on a roll. So, but I do have to say that Ulta is stepping up. Okay, so this coverage that we got just with those drops definitely gave me a more natural wear. Like this is how much I would want to wear like just to run errands or just on a day where I want to wear very light makeup. Let's say I went ahead and masked my face that morning and did like all my serums and everything. I feel like this, I do have to say that considering the fact that I am an oily skin girl, and whenever I hear the word fresh or like, you know, like fresh to somebody that has oily skin is kind of like, but this looks really healthy on the skin. And perhaps because it's also right now winter and we tend to get a little bit more dry, this can be a good situation. So this is just with one layer of the product on the face. So right now I'm gonna pump a little bit more. We didn't really cover that much on the forehead. So before we go into the second layer on the cheek area, I'm gonna go ahead and really target this forehead and just get everything in. Also, you have to put into consideration that sometimes when you are going in with the makeup sponge, it can absorb a little bit of that foundation, a little bit more than a brush would just because it is damp. So we're just gonna take this easy for a minute and just make sure that we cover everything. I feel like the color is pretty good. It may be a little tiny bit darker, but it's okay. I always like to go a little bit darker than a little bit lighter because I feel like you're able to neutralize it with concealer as opposed to when you go too light, there's no going back. It does have like a subtle scent. It kind of smells like hand sanitizer. Not like bad hand sanitizer, but like just a little bit of hand sanitizer. So now we have this much left, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that and just apply it in the areas where I feel like I need a little bit more coverage. So right here, my cheek area for sure. And I can definitely see how this is breathable because it doesn't even feel like I have foundation on my skin. So that's a good thing. I definitely see myself building on this foundation. It does say that it's a very buildable coverage, so that's always a plus. It's not looking cakey or anything like that. It does have a little bit of radiance, but it's the radiance that I like. I'm gonna take just a little tiny bit more and just apply right here. I do have to say though, this is definitely a foundation that I can see people wear if they're looking for something every day, something very practical, something that feels very light. They're not into heavy duty foundations. You know what this is kind of reminding me of? This is kind of reminding me of the vibe that like Smashbox gives, or even Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. That like very nice skin like vibe, but still gives you good coverage. Even though this one you do have to build it up, I feel like you don't have to add way too much product to really build up the. We're gonna be going in with our Delium Tools Precision Kabuki brush, this one right here. And do we want to go ahead and prime, or do we want to leave this side unprimed to see how the foundation works with that primer? Let's leave it unprimed. I wasn't expecting to do this. You guys know that I always prime, but I kind of want to see how it works without a primer, just the foundation itself. So let's go ahead and pump some product out. That much. It is a runny consistency, so that just shows you what type of formula this is. I do have to say though, it does feel like a luxurious brand type of formula. Drugstore has done an amazing job this year, and I continue to say that over and over again through the year. So you guys are probably going to be seeing a lot of drugstore foundations on my 2018 best foundations, or best foundations of 2018. Okay, so we have that much left now. You can see the coverage there. Excuse my texture. You guys know how that be when you have rosacea. But let's go ahead and apply a little bit more right here in these areas where we need it. Just trying to make sure I cover it, kind of like patting it in, just so that I can really get the product in. I feel like whenever you work with foundations that have more of that lighter or like weightless consistency, you kind of want to pat it as opposed to just stripe it down, because if you stripe it down, it creates those streaks on the face, So you just kind of want to pat it, and then kind of just blend it and diffuse. So there we go. I think this side is pretty much fully covered, and we only went in with one layer. I did put in a little tiny bit extra than I did on this side, but I do have to say that I think that if you want a little bit more of a fuller coverage faster without having to add too much product, I would recommend going with a brush. Like I mentioned, with the sponge is great, but because it is a little damp, it is going to absorb a little bit of that product on the skin. You can see, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can, maybe it's just me because I'm used to seeing my face all the time, but there is a little tiny bit of redness right here peeking through, and I just feel like this side is completely covered. So those are just my thoughts right now on it. I do have to say that it does not feel like I have absolutely anything on my skin. Right off the bat, I'm just getting those everyday wear vibes. I feel like this is something that is for the girl on the go. You're looking for coverage, but you're still looking for something that looks like your skin. And it's great that this is an affordable product. I think it's $14.99 on Ulta's website. That's a really good product. And like I mentioned, it does feel like you're putting on a luxurious foundation. It has a very nice consistency, and I feel like it just smells really nice. It has a very nice scent, and it's not irritating my skin whatsoever. You guys know I'm very sensitive to scents, and this is just feeling pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and just bring the mirror a little bit closer. You guys can probably see my closeness, but I'm just gonna bring it in a little bit closer. You can see, look at my hair just doing its thing. Probably would want to go in with a shade lighter, to be honest, because I think this may be a little tiny bit dark, or maybe I could mix them. I could go with like 2 shades lighter and then mix it with this one and make that perfect match, because the shade down I think was a little too pink, like red. So we'll have to see. And I feel like I'm more yellow. So it looks good. It definitely looks really good. I'm gonna bring the mirror close. It looks so fresh. Like my skin looks really healthy. It doesn't look like I'm wearing a heavy duty foundation. It doesn't even look like I'm wearing foundation. It just looks like I'm wearing like a tinted moisturizer, something really lightweight, but something that's covering, or either I just build it up really intensely, but this looks nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the rest of my face, and then I'm gonna come back and give you guys my first initial thoughts on this Fresh Wear Foundation by L'Oreal. I like it so far. I feel like this is definitely something that I could see myself using on the daily. So if you want to continue watching and see this face transform into something more put together, then please go ahead and do so. Okay, so I am back. I finished up my entire face of makeup, and I'm really digging this look right now. I kind of wanted to go off the color scheme of my shirt, so I kept it kind of blue up here. But I'm gonna go ahead and link all the products that I used on my face down below in the description box, so you guys can go ahead and see that. I want to talk about the foundation now. So I actually really love how everything went on the foundation. It looks absolutely beautiful. Everything went on so well. There was no issues of me having to like really blend something out, or having to really blend out my under eyes, or having to witness like really dry under eyes because I do bake. I had no issues whatsoever. I also noticed as I was applying my makeup that I feel like it started to set very nicely. I did say that there was a little bit of that radiance on my skin when I was going ahead and showing you guys after I applied the foundation, but I feel like it started to kind of set soft matte finish. Like I feel like it doesn't look like it is super dewy or super oily. I know a lot of us tend to be afraid if we do have oily skin. When we see fresh, we're like, oh my God. And people that have dry skin are like, oh hell yeah, it's like fresh. But I feel like it looks really nice. I feel like somebody that has oily skin is going to like this finish as well, just as much as somebody that does have that dry skin. I also noticed that this foundation is a very lightweight consistency still. I know sometimes we can feel that lightweight consistency when we first apply it, and then once we start to build on our face with more and more products like concealer, blush, and whatsoever, and whatever else we put on the skin, I feel like it starts to get a little heavy, and it still feels so lightweight. I do want to remind you guys that one side, this side is primed and this side is not primed. So that's just something to keep in mind as we move forward. I will definitely be looking at my skin and seeing if there's any differences through the day. And then at the very end of the day, I'll give you guys an update. You guys can also kind of be the judge of which side looks better. As of right now, I feel like both sides look very nice. I feel like there's not much of a big difference right now. But I feel like as we carry on the rest of the day, we may see a difference, because we all know that primer does serve as that base and creates a very long-wearing effect for foundations. So I'm gonna go ahead and go, and I'll be back in a few hours and give you guys my final impression. Actually, wait, hold on. I just remembered that this does have sunscreen of 25, which I wish it was a little bit more, because then I feel like it would be great coverage. Like for the sun, I feel like 25 just isn't enough for me. I feel like this is the type of foundation I would wear in the summer, to be honest, right now that I'm thinking about it. But I wish that I had a little bit more sunscreen. This does have 1 ounce, but I want to quickly do one more thing because this does have sunscreen. I'm going to go ahead and take a flash picture. Flashback, not an issue. Looks very nice. And actually taking the flash picture makes my skin look very pretty. It looks very healthy. It looks pretty airbrushed, honestly. I'm going to insert the picture so you guys can go ahead and see it, but it looks good. I am liking this. This is a good situation. So that's definitely flash approved if you do plan on wearing this and taking pictures with flash photography. So now that we went ahead and did that, I'm gonna go ahead and go, and I'll be seeing you guys in a few hours so we can discuss if this is worth our $14.99, pretty much $15 or not, so stay tuned. So I am back. It is now midnight. It's been a very long day. I actually just finished watching the Kardashians. Their season finale was super good, but that's not even what this video is about. I always go on tangents whenever I start. So I actually really love how this looks. I'm not going to lie. I feel like it does give me a very fresh effect. Another thing that I did notice about this foundation is that when I was touching it, it doesn't feel sticky, which is really good because I hate when foundations feel sticky and they feel like they're gonna transfer over to somebody else or something else. This just feels really nice and in place. And right now I'm honestly getting an airbrush finish, which I really am all here for. I feel like it's very rare that after a very long day, I have this very nice airbrush finish. I just feel like I don't know, it just looks really, really good. And I definitely see myself using this again and again because I just love how it's looking on my skin. I also have to say that L'Oreal has impressed me again. I say this over and over and over again, but drugstore is killing it. I mean, this for $14.99, it's a really, really good situation, and I would really recommend it, especially for somebody who is looking for a foundation that they can wear every day, something that they can easily fit into their everyday makeup routine, that's gonna feel really lightweight, that's gonna last for a very long day, that doesn't have flashback, that just feels really good on the skin. I feel like that's the biggest thing for an everyday foundation, is finding something that feels really nice on the skin and doesn't feel heavy. Now I also do have to say, I think this foundation is great for all different types of skins. I know that they do say that this is a fresh wear, and that can scare a lot of people that have oily skin, but don't let this scare you, because I mean, I have oily skin and I feel like it looks really good. Yes, there may be a little bit of oils peeking through right here, but I feel like it's not that bad. It's something that I can just go ahead and blot. And like I mentioned, it's been a very long day and this has worn so beautifully. I feel like if you're somebody that is an oily skin person and you're kind of just over that matte finish and you want something that's a little bit more skin-like and has some radiance, you're definitely going to love this because it's not going to make you look really, really oily or crazy. When I first heard about this foundation and I heard that fresh word, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be looking like a dewy hot mess, but I look really good. Like, my skin just looks really flawless. I'm really shocked with how great it photographed. You guys saw that flash picture. I felt like my skin looked so nice and smooth and airbrushed. And I mean, I mentioned this earlier, but I feel like it gives you that luxurious, expensive, high-end foundation finish. I do have to say though, I wish that they could have had it at my local Ulta before I purchased it online, because I do feel like the color is a little tiny bit darker than what I would want it to be. So I'm hoping that in these coming weeks, I can go ahead and see it at my local Ulta so that I can go purchase a shade or two lighter, because I do feel like if I were to mix this with probably like 2 shades lighter, I think it would give you my perfect match. So I will have all the information on this foundation listed down below in my description box, so you guys can go ahead and check that out in case you're wondering what I used, how I used it, what color this is. It's all down below in case you didn't catch any of those details. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and check out this foundation, because it's definitely worth your $15, $14, whatever you want to call it. It's worth your money. I feel like it's a really, really good foundation. If there's any foundations that you want to see that are new, hot on the market, then please go ahead and leave them down below so I can go ahead and check them out and review them. I know right now, because it's the end of the year, we're reaching a point where there's not many foundation launches. We're gonna reach that point probably in the next month or so when a lot of foundations and products are gonna start coming out. But if there's anything right now that you want me to immediately review, let me know down below. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you become part of our family here on YouTube, because I wouldn't want you guys to miss my videos for the world, because let's be honest, I have the best foundation reviews ever. And if you guys haven't done so already, please go ahead and hit that notification bell so that you're notified every single time that I upload a new video, because I wouldn't want you guys to miss my uploads as soon as I put them up on YouTube. So that being said, I'll see you guys very, very soon for a brand new video. Bye, guys.